Hi,
Hi,
Trihn. Hello, happy Tuesday. How are you?
I'm not good. I was sick for 3 days.
Oh my God. You still have not recovered fully since you were sick.
I'm not sure about it, but my throat very sore. It's very
Mm-hmm.
sore. I think yes, I
Oh,
haven't.
no, but if you want, we can always reschedule. Don't worry. Like if you need to reschedule because of your throat, that's fine. We can always move our session for tomorrow or Thursday. That's fine.
Thank you. I can do today. It's no problem.
Ah, okay. Because you're gonna be speaking for the IELTS practice that we have today. That's what I was telling you.
Yes.
But if you can't, that's fine. I understand. Don't worry. We can always move the session, okay? Whenever you feel sick, because your health is first. Okay. What are you drinking? Are you drinking anything so far? Like, are you having pills or natural
I
medication?
have this is like a candy, but when I have it in my mouth, I can stop my coughing, my cough. Can stop my cough.
Mm-hmm. And the candies, what ingredients do they have? Like, what type of ingredients?
Yes, I think some medicine inside, but I'm not sure about it. It's Japanese, so I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Some candies here, like whenever your throat hurts, they bring something called ginger. I don't know if you guys have ginger over there.
Ah, yeah, yes, we have.
So they have ginger candies. That way it helps you with your throat, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
also like a natural medicine a lot of people drink whenever they have, whenever they're coughing a lot is lemon, honey. So they make like a syrup of lemon, honey, you mix it, and a little bit of ginger, and you put it to the refrigerator and you eat and you have like syrup. You do it because then it becomes like a yeah, it becomes like a syrup. When you combine the lemon and the honey, it becomes like a syrup, and then you can have that, and it will help you a lot for your throat. That's like super nice, and a lot of people, like even kids, love it. Like the combination of lemon and honey together, and then you have it, and then that will help you with your throat. Or ginger candies. Hmm. Interesting to know. Do you guys have that over there, or no? It's different.
Yeah, yes, we have, but I have never done it before because I don't know. It can help me.
Yes, and that's like a grandma recipe because yes,
Mhm.
grandmas will use a lot of natural remedies to cure, right? I remember my grandma was Mexican, so I had that Mexican background from my grandma. And when I was small, when I was like 8 years old, she would give me tequila shots for whenever I had like a sore throat. And I was like 8 years old, and I would be like, I'm not supposed to be drinking. I'm underage. And long story short, now that I grew up, I don't drink at all. But my parents took me to the doctor because for one Christmas, like that was when I was still a youngster, for a Christmas, I drank an entire tequila bottle by myself and I went to sleep. So my parents took me to the doctor to see if that had affected my health or somehow. And the doctor said, no, what happens is that some systems are just immune to, like, I don't get drunk. Even if I loved drinking, I would never get drunk because my system is designed to, and I think it had to do with the fact of my grandma like raising my body or preparing my body to.
So you can drink much, is that correct? Since you can drink a lot.
Yes, but I don't like it. Like I would like if I liked it, like if I don't like because I'm a sweet person, so I'm into drinking Coca-Cola or drinking lemonades or drinking frozens, fruit frozens. But I'm not a person that would drink a beer or drink tequila or drink whiskey or drink any type of alcoholic drinks. I'm not into it. I don't like it. I'm never, but the doctor said that if I would, if I was a drinker, then I would never get drunk. And
Mm.
because of that background I had, because of my grandma giving me tequila shots at a very young age when I had a sore throat. Interesting. That's another remedy. So whenever you go to like little towns here and you're sick, they give you something with alcohol for your throat and it heals you.
We just take medicine only. We go to hospital and take medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Which is that's the way you should be, right? You should go and have it. But here, since before there weren't as many hospitals, so nowadays you're starting to have, so people would go with natural medicine, right? So they would go with what grandma would prepare at home, etc. So they would use a lot of organic elements to
Means
prepare
that
medicine.
when you feel sick, you need to go to hospital directly, or you will go to the pharmacy first.
Hmm.
Which,
Here,
which one?
here you can go to the pharmacy and buy. Here you don't need a like in the U.S. you need a recipe to take any
Yes,
type
yes.
of. Here you find medicine anywhere. So unless it's something really sensitive, like something really special, they would actually ask you for a recipe. Rather than that, you can go for anything at any pharmacy. You can get it at any farm. Even at the little convenience stores, like in the neighborhoods, there's like little convenience stores. You can go, I can go, to my neighbor's house and she has a convenience store and I ask her, can I have an ibuprofen or can I have, I don't know, something? Yeah, and she would just sell it to me and that's so there's like no control whatsoever of that. So that's why a lot of people automedicate themselves and they know a lot about it because now for COVID it was different. I don't know how you guys handle it, but here the president sent the kit to your house, like the kit for you to for you to drink during the like the 14 or 15 days. So they sent you like the kit with all the medicine you needed to drink for COVID when it first started. So they would send it to your house directly for you not to go out and to keep yourself isolated from the rest.
Did you get COVID before?
Mm? Sorry,
Have you get COVID
I
before?
did. I we did. Right. Okay, so COVID started in your side of the world like by November or December. So we got
Yes.
it like by December. So we got it. No, maybe like by January. Like by January. We were like 14 days. But I didn't have any symptoms. Like the symptoms or maybe the two symptoms I had were that I wasn't bad. I couldn't smell and I couldn't taste. Those were like the major symptoms I had. I didn't experience coughing or so yes, but I was in bed. Like I felt like a truck had passed by and I felt my bones. My arms, my arms hurt a lot, my feet hurt a
Yes.
lot, so my articulations hurt a lot. But that was the major symptom I had. And right after I had the first, and I think I had it again, maybe, but since we didn't really
Yes, it is. It was my second time.
that's what happened to you?
Yes, the first time 2 years ago, and then this time is the second time I got COVID.
Do you use a mask when you go out?
I use, but maybe because my due to my job, I need to meet a lot of people
Oh, okay.
every
So
day.
it's like a must. It's like necessary for you to actually do it.
Yes, we need to wear mask.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Uh,
that's
3 years ago until now, we are still
okay.
keeping a
So
habit of.
here it's no longer mandatory, but for example, at schools, they're starting to apply it because there's a variant that is coming up. So people are trying to protect themselves by starting, but it's not like mandatory anymore. It was mandatory, but it's not mandatory anymore. But then to protect yourself, I think
What
it's
does it mean by the word mandatory?
hmm?
I don't know the word mandatory. Yes, exactly.
This one mandatory
Yes, yes.
must. Like it's a rule that you have to. That is mandatory. So is it mandatory? that you have to use a mask? Yes, if you're sick, but no, you don't need to use it if you're not sick. You do it to protect yourself and not to contaminate others. So it's not really mandatory. Well, so I have a question for you, Trinh. Did you practice your speaking?
Yes. When I finish work, I just sleep because I feel really ill.
Okay. I was going into, so don't worry, I understand. I was going into the IELTS exam, and as you know, I was telling you the other day that IELTS has different scorings, okay? They have, they call it bands in Europe. It's the same as saying a score. So band 7 would be, that's your score out of 9, 9 being the top, okay? 7 is okay, okay? It's like good. 8 is better, and then 9 is the best score you can get for the speaking part. What I like about this type of videos is that it doesn't only ask, or it doesn't only do the mock interview, but it also gives feedback to the person who is actually taking it. Now, a lot of the feedback that I usually sense, that I usually get, is that we're not elaborating as much as, that's why the band doesn't go to an 8 or a 9, because sometimes
What
you
does it mean by
limit.
the word? What does it mean by the word elaborate?
Elaborate. It means speak more than usual. That's to elaborate an answer. So if I ask you, where are you from, and you would just say the name, you would just say, oh, I'm from Vietnam. So I would say, oh, so Trinh, part of my feedback would be for you to elaborate more about where you come from. And then you say, oh, okay, so I come from a small village in Vietnam called ta 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 ta. This place is beautiful. It has a lot of flowers, and the village is full of nightlife, ta 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 ta. And then you start describing your village or the place you come from. So that is elaborating versus just having a straight answer. Where do you come from? Oh, Vietnam. Where were you born and raised? Vietnam. So, and so the evaluator is expecting for you to speak more about the topic. That is to elaborate. Okay? Or they call it also to produce more. And you're going to see this. Produce more. Okay? Produce more, speak more, elaborate more. Okay, so you have to start thinking outside the box, not just here, but think outside. What else can I include for every question they will ask me? Okay, and that's where we are going to practice today. So we're going to do this exercise. First, we're going to do the exercise. I will uh, take away this, and you will just listen to the question. Okay, and I want you to answer the question. Okay. So let me just take away the volume because we're doing the interview. Wait, what did I do? There you go. Because I'm going to take off the volume, and that way I will, let me see. What happened? Wait, give me a minute. There we go. Here we go. We're having a windy morning, so I think. Okay, so this is an interview. Okay, I'm not going to play the volume. I'm just going to play the part where he asks the questions. Okay, and I want you to answer, and then we're going to listen to her answer. Okay, and we're
Yes.
going to contrast, and I'm going to give you feedback. So, for example, for the first question, he asks,
I
so
cannot hear anything.
you cannot hear anything?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you hear it? Okay, let me see.
So let's get started. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, my name is Jungin Seo.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
And tell me, are you working or studying right now?
Okay, so the first question was, what is your name? And right after that, are you working or studying? So let me listen to your answer. How would you answer that?
I'm working now. I'm working in a small countryside in Japan after I graduating in Vietnam. After I graduated in Vietnam.
Okay, so it would be, very good answer. It would just go first. Well, I'm actually studying. I'm actually working. I'm originally from Vietnam, but I moved to Japan 2 years ago. So currently I'm working in the countryside, da 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 da, and you explain where you're working or the name of the place where you're working, and that would be make it, so the trend. So remember the timeline of your life. Okay, so first, what happened, where you come from, and what happened, or I decided to move for better job opportunities. So I came to Japan and now I work here in this company and I've been here for 2 years, 5 years, 6 years. Okay. And that way you extend a little bit more. But then again, always following your life timeline. Okay. From the moment you decided to come to Japan and work here.
I am studying right now. I'm currently going to Dongdeok Women's University and I'm majoring in performance, music performance. Yeah.
Oh. And do you
Okay, so in her answer, if you listen, she spoke about her studying music. So she could have spoken a little bit more on what semester is she in, where is this university located? Okay, that's what evaluators consider, like the range of vocabulary. So for you to expand on your ideas or elaborate or produce means to speak a little bit more. What's not only the name of the university, because if you ask me, like he might not even know where the university is at, right? Okay. And maybe talk a little bit more about music performance. Wow, that's an interesting, I know it's an interesting major. It's not only about music, but it's also about the analysis of the beat, or to elaborate a little bit more on the major. Okay, that could give you a better score at the end by elaborating a little bit more upon this topic. Okay, so in her case, she just went straight to where she studied and what was she studying, right? So it was very short, and then
enjoy your studies?
Yeah.
and see, that's why he needed to ask a follow-up question. Do you enjoy your studies? So if I ask the same question, pretending that Trihn, you have not graduated, okay, pretending, let's just do the exercise. Let's pretend that you're still studying at the university. If I was to ask you this question, what would be your answer in regards to where do you study?
Yes, of course. I'm really keen on my major, which is hotel and tourism. Hotel and tourism. And at my class now, I have a lot of friends. We get along well together. We do a lot of parties whenever we have free time, and we help each other to learn, to improve our school. So I'm really enjoying my life at school now.
Okay, fantastic. Maybe when they ask you also about your studies, talk about what your career is about. Okay, like, or what was your major about? Because if you ask me, for example, for music, I would say maybe it's just she wants to become a singer. But no, it implies maybe more like you would study the different instruments, you would study composition, music composition. So it's a wide range of other aspects that you can talk about. And obviously the evaluator is just an English evaluator. He has no expertise on the different careers, right? So that's why they consider when a student explains a little or goes further in explaining what the major is about. So your major, what is it about? What do you guys do while studying that? Do you travel a lot? Do they show you how to serve at an event? Do they show you customer service skills? Do they show you so okay, it involves many different aspects. So to maybe expand your answer, yes, it is interesting to know about your student life because that's a student life. If that the question was about did you enjoy your student life, then you would say yes, of course. We had many parties, da, 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 da. And you can speak a little bit more about we would go out, da, da, da. But in this case, the 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 question was focused on your studies, right? So maybe talk about the career itself, right? Or what made you study this and why, because you wanted to travel, because you liked spending time with people, right? So maybe to talk a little bit more related to the topic instead of going out of the topic, like outside the box means within it. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, give me 1 minute, Trent.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, so that's what I was actually explaining. So you need to elaborate a little bit more on the topic being asked. Let's listen to her answer.
I had my passion about music, and that's why I chose my major. Yeah,
Okay,
so
good.
I think
Okay, so do you enjoy your studies? So I have a passion, so that's not elaborating. It's a good answer. It goes straight forward, like I enjoy my studies. I enjoy music. But what else could you add to it, right? So think about what else could you add that made you take the decision on this. Okay, since I was a little girl, maybe in her case, maybe since she was a little girl, she would her parents enroll her in artistic classes. Maybe she was a young adult, she learned how to play instruments. Okay, so all those answers, all those ideas that I'm giving you is thinking outside the box. It's not just going straight into the answer, but thinking outside the box. I'm sorry, can you hear my dog barking on the back?
I can hear, but it is no problem. Can
Okay,
hear the noise.
sorry, it's my 2-year-old puppy. He demands attention from all the neighbors when they're running outside, when they're exercising. Okay. So that is what you have to consider whenever answering, even for interviews. Okay, and remember, think about have like a mental timer of 1 minute to answer the question. So in 1 minute, that's why we're doing the exercise of speaking for 1 minute, because that's what is expected for you to speak on any topic. Okay, so let's go with the next question. So I'm just giving you ideas, and then we're going to do the full interview.
And what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Okay, so in your case, Trihn, what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
I do. I'm doing a lot of things in my free time. For example, I'm watching. I'm watching TV by myself whenever I'm at home, or if I have an appointment with my friends, I will dress up and go out with them. We tend to go to the cinemas to watch a movie together or have a dinner or lunch together. Or even if we have a long time, we will travel together. So I must say I do a lot of things. I'm kind of extroverted person. So whenever I have free time, I will do a lot of things with my friends.
Okay, very good. So within those lots of things, very good answer. I'm just helping you think of more ideas. And again, with your answers, what type of food, for example, we like to go for sushis on Wednesdays, or you don't have to say the day. I'm just giving you ideas. Well, part of the things that I really enjoy doing on my free time is taking advantage of, movie nights with them. So we go to the cinema, and then, but before going to the cinema, we like to go out for sushi. Okay, that's something I really enjoy. I love sushi, so enjoy on my free time going to different sushi places around. For example, I'm just giving an example, or hamburger places. I don't know, or pizza places, or ramen places to try different ramen soups all over. So just to give you an example, I'm just trying to think of things that you could include as you speak. Also, you could also mention not you don't need to mention the days of the week. We do that here because, for example, here Wednesdays you can get 2 for 1. So meaning that two guys can go to the cinema for the price of one, right? So I think that's a good offer. Everyone says so. The youth, okay, likes to go on Wednesdays to the movies because it's less expensive than the rest of the week. Also, people like here, they like sushi. I've noticed that they love going to different sushi places to try, to see which is the best place that sells sushi here in the country. Or Mexican food, it's very common to find here, okay? Or to have board game nights, for example, with your friends. Or so maybe, yes, different type of activity. Like if you go to the mall, what do you guys like to do at the mall? Do you go window shopping on Sundays because there's a lot of offers or sales that day, for example? So that's what you have to do. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute. So that's what you have to include. Thank you. So that's what you have to include. So you have to include um, not only general information like we like to go out, but where do you like to go out, or what type of activities do you like to do? So be a little bit more specific on the activities. You don't have to mention the days of the week. This was just my example, but because that's how I would answer. Everybody has a different style on answering, but at the end of the day, what you need to realize is that you need to explain a little bit more and be more specific. And what happens is that we're not used to that. We're not used to exemplifying because we just generalize. We like to go out with my friends and that's it. You're not expected to be nosy or to be curious about, and what else, and what else, and what else, right? So you're not expecting that. But that's what the evaluators take notes on, okay? And don't worry, that's very common even here. That's very common even here. When I prepare people for TOEFL and for IELTS, it's very common that they just go straight into the answers. And that's the reason why the first attempt, the score is always low, because in the speaking part, they tend to just answer what it's being asked because you get so nervous. And it's normal. As human beings, we get nervous. So it's normal that when they ask us, you just answer what they ask you and not expand or elaborate upon it. And it's very difficult to think outside the box, right? It's that's what I call critical thinking. So you have to think, and mind thinking. Start thinking as the evaluator is asking you, what can I say? And if there's a follow-up question, have in mind, Trihn, when you're in front of an evaluator, if there's a follow-up question about, like in her case, they ask her what were her studies on, and then if she enjoyed it. So if there's a follow-up question for the same topic, it means that the evaluator did not get enough information. But if the evaluator jumps into a different question, it means that you're doing a great job. Okay, meaning like, hey, good job, right? Because I was full of information that I don't need to ask any further information whatsoever. So that's something important to also consider, even for job interviews. This is something also very common when an evaluator asks you a question, for example, like, how do you see yourself in 5 years? Just to give you an example. Oh, I see myself married with kids. And then they will ask you, how many kids are you considering having, or when are you planning to get married? Because he didn't get enough information from the first question. So he needs to know a little bit more. Because then again, they're evaluating your language, your vocabulary, the way you structure. So the more you speak, the better opportunity for the evaluator to take notes on your words, right? And to take down notes on what is said. Let's see what she says.
Um, I usually watch YouTube or just hang out with my friends. Yeah, I go around Seoul. I live in Gyeonggi-do, so it's my first time like visiting Seoul. So
Good. Very good. Let's talk about your hometown a little bit. Tell me, what is your hometown first?
I live in Bundang, and
Okay, hometown. Tell me a little bit about your hometown, Trihn.
My hometown is a small village, which is located on the north of Vietnam, and it's near a beach, which is have a lot of landscape, where we used to play a lot when we was a little kids. So for me, it's just a small area, but it is really tranquil and comfortable.
What is the name? What is the name? Okay, what is the name? Can you write down the name of the place where you come from?
Mm, but it's not true.
Ah, okay, no. Yeah, it's okay.
It's my village.
Oh, this is beautiful. You come from here?
Yes.
This is beautiful. I had never seen something like this before. Okay, so see, there's many things you could talk about your hometown. Maybe a lot of the touristic places, or the history it has within it, right? Because I guess this monument represents something special. Um, that looks like a palace. Is it a palace?
No, it's temples.
Sorry, temple. That's beautiful. Okay, so so see, you could say it's to the north of Vietnam, right? So talk a little bit this is where I suggest, and maybe one of the tips is fun facts about this place. Do you guys have any fun facts?
I don't know the meaning of the word.
hmm for example, a fun fact could be that you guys you find a lot of rice crops. Okay, so you grow a lot of rice. For example, that could be a fun fact, that in this place they grow a lot of the rice that is exported to many different countries, for example. So
Yes.
interesting facts. So here, let's see. It says here, what are 5 fun facts about Vietnam? Okay. I come from Vietnam, which is considered having one of the largest caves in the world, for example. Just to give you an idea of what a fun fact would be. So not a lot of people will know that you guys have caves, right? And Vietnam is a paradise of tropical fruits, so we're well known for having various types of fruits. And also the fact of having rivers, okay, and all that. Oh, see, it's the world's second largest coffee exporter. So you export coffee. So those are interesting facts about a place. So but this is in regards to Vietnam itself, like 5 facts about Vietnam, fun facts about Vietnam. But what about yours? About your hometown. So it says here, rice farming, da, 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 da. Okay, the Red River. Okay, so those are things that you can talk about your places you visited, temples you know, they're common. So that is something that and then I know you might say, yeah, like if you were to ask me about El Salvador, I could talk about not only Surf City, but I could talk about the different monuments and museums we have. I can also talk about, our traditional food. I could talk about that we also grow coffee. We are well known for having one of the best coffees in the world as well. Okay. So there's a lot of things that I could include about my hometown or home country that you could also include yourself. For example, the Red River, right? Why is it called the Red River? Is it really red?
The biggest river in Vietnam.
Is the biggest?
Yeah.
Okay. So see? So maybe some ideas like the ones I gave you. So perhaps what could we highlight? What could we highlight about Thai Binh that you could mention? What can you highlight about Thai Binh?
Tourist attractions.
The attractions?
Tourist attractions.
Okay, the different tourist attractions. Okay. What else?
Temples.
Okay. They're beautiful temples. Can you walk? Like, is it a big place? Is it a small village or is it a big village? Like, can you walk? Like, it takes you one day to actually get to know the entire village, or
Yes, it takes one day to know all about my place.
Okay, so that's something interesting that you could add to your answer, to your response. That it actually takes you one day, that you could visit many different temples, okay? Sightsee along the way, right? That you could also enjoy from their aquatic park, okay? Or you could visit part of the Red River that crosses all Vietnam, which is the longest, largest, biggest, smallest river in Vietnam. So you would use a word that helps you boost, because that's what you have to do, boost your vocabulary, boost your ideas with vocabulary too, right? Okay, interesting. So see, there's a lot you could actually, so you start having that in mind, because the idea, and maybe for homework, you can start writing down, okay, just like bullet pointing the questions as you speak, right? So bullet pointing. I'll put here. So if you're doing like, okay, so hometown, for example, I can talk about temples, and then you start like just bullet pointing temples. I can talk about temples. I can talk about I don't know, maybe speak a little bit of the rice. Remember the river. Don't forget to mention that. This is the way I show students to remember what is it that they have to this will help you elaborate, just having keywords. Okay, will help you elaborate on your ideas too. Hometown, temples, rice, river. They're famous for also what type of food? Do you guys have like a specific traditional food?
I don't know what the name of this food in English.
Okay. Yeah, but I guess it will stay. But then you could say we're famous for our soups, for a special soup if it's a soup, for a special rice if it's a rice, for a special dish made of rice and da 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 da. So you
You're
even if the
famous
name,
for cake with some seafood inside.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Cake, a cake,
Cake.
cake, or candy with seafood such as shrimp and sweet inside.
Okay. So and you can remember that we're famous for a cake with da 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 da. Oh, so those are things that you can remember and they will help you elaborate. Okay, so you don't have to really write complete answers, but then just ideas, right? So about your studies too. Why did I study that? What reasons? Maybe because I like to travel. The reasons I like to travel. In regards to what I wish to learn or what I'm learning from it. So expand a little bit more. Okay, that's when I tell you to expand a little bit more, it has to go with you. It has to go with your profile. And make sure, this is something that you have to also consider, Trihn. I don't really recommend lying. Okay, and I'm going to explain why. Because lying, when you say a lie, okay, and the evaluator comes and asks you, they can ask you something related to that lie, you can start mumbling. And so that's when your score will get affected because you know it's a lie versus talking about real things, you know? Now, can you lie? Yes, you can lie for some answers if you do not have or you do not know what to answer. But that's like the last tip. Like if you don't have any expert, for example, just to give an example, if the question was related to adoption, okay, let's say that, what do you think about adoption? And then you would say, I have no idea what to say because I'm not adopted. I don't know anybody who is adopted. And so I can invent or I can make up my answer. I can lie a little bit. So in that sense, yes, but as a last resource, okay? I'm not adopted myself. Nevertheless, I do know other people that are adopted. And for what I see, parents usually try to give them a better education than the one they would have received if they were not adopted. And you start elaborating. But that's like your last resource to lie. Because if not, what happens when you lie on answers that could be true? You will stumble, you will mumble, you will stumble, and your score will get affected. Okay. And I came up with the adoption because I'm adopted. So that's the only, it's difficult to talk about adoption. So now you know, if you talk about adoption, you can say, well, I know someone who's adopted. It's very difficult sometimes to answer if you have never lived through that, right? Let's see what she has to say.
What is your hometown?
I live in Bundang, and it is close to Gangnam, but like other places, I don't tend to go much often because it takes like an hour or so. So, but it's nice. It's peaceful.
What thing?
Wow. Did you hear her answer?
Yes.
Her answer was, she could have spoken a lot about her hometown. Even if you don't live there, like he was not actually, and that's something else you have to be careful with. You have to be careful of answering what they ask you, because he asked you, how's your hometown like? Not if you have been there, right, recently or not, right? So, oh, well, my hometown, what can I say? And then you start elaborating about your hometown. Peaceful, yes, but it's very poor information on on the hometown, right? Where is it located? Is it to the north, to the south? Is it a big place? Is it a small place? So yeah, a little bit more information. So it's very short, uh, very not oriented to what he was asking. So that's why her score was very affected by it.
What things do you like about it?
Um,
And then he asked, what else do you like about it? And she didn't know what to answer.
I like that it's very quiet and has a lot of schools around. So, like, growing up there, it's much safer than other places, I think. So I like that.
Sure.
Her answers are very natural.
Say that again, Trihn.
Her answers are very natural. So in intonation and pronunciation.
Yes, her answers are very natural. Yes, natural, but it's not enough to sound natural. Because you can sound natural, but you have to expand and elaborate. They're very short. That's why the evaluator is asking follow-up questions, because he's not getting the information that he wishes to get. Even if she sounds natural, because her tone of voice is very natural. But there's more opportunity for her to speak a little bit more.
What things do you not like about it?
Okay, now if you notice, it's a different contrasting question. So first, the question was, talk about your hometown and what do you like about it. Now tell me, in your case, what you don't like about your hometown, Trihn.
I think the most thing that I don't like much about my hometown will be population. My hometown is a very overpopulated with a lot of people from other places to come my hometown. I think there are some reasons for that. First, because we have a lot of tourist attraction, so we need a lot of laborers. They come to my hometown for the job. And secondly, because in my hometown there are lots of famous schools, so it is a really the good place for students to focus on my hometown. So they are
Fantastic.
really
Very good. See, very good. Good job. And I like that you use some connectors, right? So
Yes.
first,
I like about my answer. It's not true.
You liked your answer? That's what I was gonna say. I loved your answer. It was very thorough, and you used the connectors. That was really good. First, second, you gave more reasons than usual, so good job on that. I really liked it. It was really good. You actually elaborated. Now, if you notice, it's easy to talk about the things that we don't like, or the elements we don't like, versus the things that we do like. It's easier to talk about negatives than positives. So sometimes one of the things that I suggest too is that if it's easy for us to talk about negative aspects about people, things, culture, elements, weather, etc., so focus about talking about positive aspects. I did this exercise on Saturday. I have a class of 18 students, teenagers, between 15 and 16 years old. And I told them, okay, so guys, tell me 3 things you like about yourself and 3 things you don't like about yourself. And they said easily 3 things they didn't like about themselves, but it was very difficult for them to find 3 things they liked about themselves. And it was just an exercise for them to realize how difficult this exercise could be. And they said, you know what? It's really difficult for me to think about something positive about myself. And I said, think about what your friends say about you. Oh, they say I'm very cheerful, or they say I'm very easygoing and I'm very loyal. Exactly. So if they say that, because that's what you sense or make them feel, and it should be considered about, because that's your personal, it's the way you are, characteristic. So every time you have to think about something positive I always refer to this exercise, like think about what people think about you. Think about what others think about this in a positive way, right? So same exercise for you, okay? It's easier for us to talk about the bad aspects about a place than to talk about the good ones, right? It's very difficult. Or it could be vice versa. Maybe it's very difficult for you to talk about the bad versus the good. So what I'm trying to say at the end is that we need to practice. We need to practice with the one that is difficult for us. Okay, have that in mind. Don't practice the one that you already manage or your answers that, the easy answers. Practice on those answers that are difficult for you, whether it's positive answers or negative answers. Which ones could be difficult? Okay, because you will have a lot of this type of questions, and it's better to practice those that are giving us a hard time than those that are not. Okay, but your answer, Trihn, honestly, it was fantastic. I really liked it. Good job.
I don't like that it takes an hour to get to every place in Seoul. Yeah, it's not that far, but it's not close either.
Sure. Okay, good. Now let's talk about change. Have you changed a lot since your childhood?
Okay. Have you changed a lot since your childhood, Trihn?
I've changed a lot from I was a little kid until now. When I was a small child, I was really stubborn. I didn't hear to my mom's advice, my dad's advice. I just did anything, follow my hobbies, follow something that I want to do. But now I'm quite good listener. I listen to my mom and my dad advice because I realize that it's good for me. So I think I changed a lot. Now I'm more patient. I know how to listen to other people.
Yes, you're a very good listener. You're a very good listener. Good job. Very interesting answer. Yes, I think you are.
I think so, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
So see, she just answered, yeah, I think so. I was like, oh my God. Yes, and then you start.
I used to be very introverted and quiet as a kid, but as time passed, I think I tried very hard to fit in with others, and I think my personality changed because of that.
Sure.
Okay, I really liked the fact that it's very difficult to accept. We're all stubborn, all of us. All of us at a certain age will rebel, we are stubborn, but it's very difficult to accept it, right? As you grow up, you don't, when I was a kid, I was not a stubborn. Oh no, I was not here. I was not rebel. I was, a good kid, etc. It's very difficult sometimes to accept our mistakes. But I really liked how you said, when I was as a kid, I was a stubborn. And then because I always, so, and you explain why you were stubborn. And then now you transition to the present on how you've you've grown and you've become more mature. You're a very good listener, right? Yes, you're very committed. Something that I really admire is that you're really committed. Okay, meaning that you're very organized and committed to what you want to do and what you want to achieve. Okay, you're very committed. Like I said, no, don't worry if you feel sick. We can always no. You said no. I can take the class. So we're very committed to it. So it's an example of I didn't need to tell you that you're so committed, but I noticed it by logging in on time, being there despite the odds, despite despite this situation that you're not feeling good, even
Because
having that certain.
I'm very committed. Can you write down this book, please?
Yes. Committed. This was the other one. Despite the odds. Despite you being sick, that's the odds. Okay. Despite the turbulences in your life, despite you not having enough sleep because you're sick, because despite working many long extensive hours, because I know it's difficult, Trinh. Like for you is 10, 11 p.m. right now. For me is 8 a.m., right? 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So it's very difficult to commit to something you wish to accomplish. And I really appreciate that. I really do. And that's why I put more effort in our sessions, because I know how difficult it is to work long, exhaustive hours and then connect to a class because you want to improve the way you speak, and you're doing fantastically great. So feel proud of your accomplishment. You might say, yeah, it's a short accomplishment. For me, it's huge. And just the fact of you connecting every day to our session, and on time, and knowing that you're, I when I tell you, have you practiced, have you done your homework, I say it joking, okay? Don't take it, because I know that you work extensive hours, right? And you have a difficult schedule, because in tourism that's the way it is, right? You might say, oh, I just work 8 hours, and maybe you work 12 hours, or you work 10 hours. So it's not easy, right? So thank you so much for always connecting on time and for being so committed with our sessions. Really, you're doing a fantastic job.
And what do you plan to change next year?
Okay, tell me, what do you plan to change next year?
I'm going to move, change on another job, because my current job now is really hard. I need to do overwork. I need to wake up from 6 a.m. to have breakfast and go to my office, because my job starts at 7 p.m. and then I need to work until 7 p.m. I start working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's a really hectic schedule for me, so it's not good for my my uh, my health, my well-being. So I think I will change my job in the next year.
Okay. Now, if the question was the same, but regards to your personality, because we're talking about personalities all along, if they tell you, what do you plan to change the next year related to your personality, what would be your answer? This is about your
Personality,
personal life. This is about your job, but what about your personality?
personality is that my characteristic,
Mhm.
my humanity. I'm not sure about the question.
For example, if they ask me in a year, what would I like to change? I would say I would try to avoid less procrastination, okay? Because I feel that I'm spending, you know what procrastination is?
No, I don't know.
Okay, let me show you. This is the word. Procrastinate less. So procrastination, while my Google search works, I guess because it's really windy, okay, there we go. So procrastination is saying, eh, for example, right now, I'm trying to paint my house and I have the bucket there. I said, no, I'll do it tomorrow, in 2 hours after lunch. And I'm always delaying the time of doing things instead of doing it in the moment. So that's procrastinate. It's when you always say, no, I'll do it later. And then you don't do it later, and you keep on moving and moving and moving the day to do it. Okay. So it's like doing it now. So there's actually nowadays a lot of human beings are going through procrastination, and they give you tips on how to overcome this. So if you ask me, that's a challenge in my life to procrastinate, because I work from home, so I don't go out. The only day I go out is on Saturdays. So being home makes me procrastinate more, like, I need to go to the supermarket, but I'll do it maybe tomorrow, and I delay things. So that's procrastination for me. It's when you delay. So if they ask you, okay, what would you change in a year? In my case, I would change procrastination, right? To be less procrastinated.
For me, I want to change a little bit about my characteristic now. Even though I changed a lot from a little kid until now, I become more mature. I'm a good listener and patient person, but sometimes I feel like I'm not strong enough. I think I'm due in doing something, and I don't have enough uh, confidence to overcome obstacles. Whenever I face with some trouble, I I just come home and just let it move on. I don't know how to deal with it. So I hope that I can become more mature and become stronger.
Okay, very good. That was a good answer. Good job. Okay, so see, overcome obstacles, become more mature. Okay, trust myself a little bit more, that you can do it, etc. That's a good example. Very good. Okay, so this is a new word for you, right? Procrastination. So this is very common nowadays, by the way. So it's when you don't have a deadline and you always prolong your deadline. So no, I'll do it later, and do too many reasons, like, oh, my head hurts, or oh no, I'm watching, an interesting documentary or a movie, and then I'll do it after this episode, or I'll do it after this. Yes. So that's what procrastination is, just for you to know. Guess it's a new word though. Okay. Awesome. Very good. Okay. So we're going to, let me share the video with you here on on Messenger. So if you have the opportunity to continue watching it, do so. Okay. And what I would like to do is the same exercise we did until this minute. There's a couple of more questions. So whenever, you listen to the question, you ask, you pause it, you answer, you record yourself, and then listen to her answer, and then continue with the question like that. Okay. So the same exercise we did all the way here, because then here, that's where the feedback comes into. Okay. And you're going to notice that the feedback he gives her is exactly the feedback that I'm giving you. Expand more on your ideas, careful with this. So it's pretty much the same. You're gonna see. But maybe do the video until here, maybe until this part 3. And then, because the rest of the part is just a feedback, okay? So you're just missing part of this video to practice. And I will see you. So tomorrow we're gonna be doing 8. Today was band 7. Tomorrow I'm thinking on doing band 8 to see how you do with that one, okay? After you do this.
Today after Thursday.
Oh, sorry, Thursday. Yes, Thursday. My bad. Okay, so see you Thursday. Well,
Yes.
tomorrow, yeah, yeah, for me
Wednesday.
Thursday. Okay, pues. Bye. Bye, Trihn.
Please give me the link of this.
Hold on, my bad.
Can you give it via messenger for me, please?
Hold on, didn't I save it? Share it with you? I think I did. No. Yeah, I did. Did you get it? I did on Messenger.
Biết bơi, sau đó
I'm sorry.
Trung đi nhảy vào nước ngay.
Come on.
I did, right?
No, I'm not telling about the link of the YouTube, the link of this lesson, the recording.
This one. Oh, you mean about the lesson? Yes, as soon as it finishes recording, when we spend and I have it, I will send it on Messenger, okay?
Yes, please.
And what I'm doing is that for you to actually see it, it's recording locally, so I'm uploading it to my channel. That way you can see it from there.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I sent you the link also for you to continue practicing. Okay? Super. Okay, pues. Bye. Enjoy.